because you can't put in something new without clearing out the old. Quick tour of the empty closet. He redid the flooring in this room a little bit ago along with the new door. And this is the closet.
Okay, before we start tearing things out, I just want to kind of give you an idea of what this stuff looks like in general. With mobile homes, a lot of it is sort of, for lack of a better word, pieced together. So the shelves that are here, there's no quality at all to these things. To give you an idea of some of the things that we're talking about, I'll show you some of the gaps that are involved. Here we are sitting basically almost an entire inch off the wall. And the screws are basically just shooting through the wood into a giant gap. On this one side, things are not even touching. It's basically just a wooden box that is thrown together. You can see here there's a gap in the units where they're not actually snugged up. And you've got screws just going through at all kinds of different angles. Just anything they could do to try and hit a stud somewhere, to try to kind of piece these things together. Here again, not even touching the wall. The pieces of molding shoved around it in an attempt to halfway make it look a little bit better. But that is basically what we're up against and what we are looking to replace. Part of this series is to sort of educate you in what I know about sort of the mobile home experience. A lot of people think, oh, mobile homes are completely different. I can't do things like you see in a house. And part of what we're trying to show you here is that really it doesn't matter that this is a manufactured home. A lot of the things that you would do to your normal house, you can also do in here. In this case, this is one of our outside walls. It is going to be a 16-inch centered studs, and they're going to be your standard 2x4s. So this wall is pretty much exactly like what you would see in a house. One of the differences is that the sheetrock here is not the sheetrock like you're used to. It's basically this stuff that's made for mobile homes that has this vinyl coating to it. But other than that, it's still just a plain old piece of sheetrock, just like anything else. One of the things that you'll commonly run into are these battens, which is basically just a seam cover. So instead of mudding up a piece of sheetrock like you do in a house, they come and put one of these over the seam, and that way as it shifts during the movement, things don't crack and break up. Now there are some differences, but still things that don't actually matter. So this wall right here is very likely not a 2x4. It is very likely a 2x3, which is what a lot of mobile homes will use on the interior walls. In the olden days of a single wide, I think even the exterior walls may have been 2x3, but now only the interior walls are still commonly 2x3s, and even on newer ones, I think even the interiors have gone to 2x4. But for the sake of mounting it up, a lot hasn't changed. You're still looking at 16-inch centers between your studs. So a lot of the bracketry and things that you can use in a standard house will work here, and that's what we're looking to do in this build. So what we're going to do is come in here and tear out the existing shelves that are here, get them out, and then come in and put in closet-made shelving system that we've put in other parts of the house. The general concept is there's going to be a bar at the top that mounts into your studs. You're going to have the bars that come down that click into that, and then you have these spikes that go in to hold the shelves. I did that one just for the wife. It's a shelf bracket.
It's a spike.
And then that's going to basically give us a sort of supported and adjustable system that we can come in and make easy changes with later. And with a project like this, these types of adjustable shelves come in very handy, because you may have a design in your head and you do it, you're like, I kind of wish I'd done it a different way. Well, with this you can come in and easily change things and rearrange them. One of the problems that we ran into is that the distance on this and the distance on this side are different. So we wanted to put initially shelves on this side, but the 12-inch shelf, which is the smallest you can get, would have a coat hanger basically coming out to right about here. So what we're going to do is come in here and put two shelves on the back side, one down low, one up high for all of the clothes, and then maybe come do something else over here that is designed to hold clothing that will be a shelf of some other type. So for starters, we're just going to come in here, bar at the top, 4 rods coming down, hitting each of the 4 studs that are available in this wall, and 2 shelves. So let's go ahead and start getting all of this stuff cut out, and then we will take it from there. Just to give you an idea, basically all we're going to do is come in here and remove the screws. It has the standard screw going through into the studs, much the way a kitchen cabinet does. So once we remove all of those, we should be able to take these 2 sections out and pull them out. If you don't have one yet, one thing I highly recommend if you're going to work on one of these places is a multi-bit set. This is a Cobalt one that we got from Lowe's. One of the main things that you will find working on a mobile home that you will not see in a house is square head screws. They actually have numbers just like Phillips and everything else where there's different sizes. So you've actually got an S1, stands for square 1 through square 3 in this case. The screws that are in here are an S2, square 2 size head. I'll show you what it looks like, but it's basically a square. It's in the name. Okay, so this one is all the way across. This one butts up. I think I'm going to start with taking this out. So first, let's see. Talking about the quality of these rods. Okay, that's up. The molding pieces very often get in the way. I may or may not have to remove something, or something may or may not get broke as it comes out. Kinda, oh joy, and that one is stripped out in the wood, so that one's gonna take some
finagling.
Yeah. I may have spoke too soon about the Sawzall.
That's a long screw.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like they use the same size screw in everything. I'm surprised it's not poking through the walls places. What I'm going to try to do is get everything loosened up and see if I can pull on it to provide some resistance on that screw. Sometimes pulling against the head and using this to start the screwing will allow it to catch and it will thread itself out. It may or may not work. And that one is too.
See what happens when you say, ooh, this is an easy job.
Okay, so let's go ahead and just get this molding off just to make things easier.
Bye bye molding.
This is pretty much the same molding they use everywhere in the house. They just cut it up and put it across any corner that is a corner. Oh, the sheetrock dust. This stuff is actually a plastic material. It's not a real actual wooden molding. Okay, so we'll see if I can get behind the head of this and then put some force to it while it's turning. The shank of the bolt, the threads don't go all the way down. It's on purpose. But in this case, the threads went all the way out, so they couldn't hit anything. So by pulling it up a little bit, it allowed the threads to hit this wood, and once it finally caught, it was able to back out. This I don't know if this will work on that last one, but now that it's free except for that one that's only in the sheetrock, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to pull that one out of the wall. And there we go. One down. Or just falls out of the wall. Okay. Pretty much the exact same thing with this one. Since it's not in anything, possibly about to fall out. Oh. I forgot that was up there. And voila! One of our to-dos is to replace all of this sheetrock with real sheetrock, get rid of these battens, get rid of this design material. Also, one of the things that I hated that they did in most of the trailers is put the light switch inside the closet. So you have to kind of stumble around in the dark to find the light switch. I want to move this out there. Once we pull the sheetrock off, it'll be a lot easier to move a light switch on this wall. Lighting and electrical in these places is a completely different beast. We'll cover that in some other projects for now. Just know it's on our future to-do list. So because that is in our plan, we're not going to go into cleaning up the screw holes trying to fix places where there's gaps, where the shelf was at, where the battens aren't going down. So we're not making this pretty, we're making it functional for now. So now we're just going to get shelving up on this wall. I think the wife wants to clean it first. But once she's done cleaning out the walls, then I'm going to come in here and attach a bracket across the top. I went against my better judgment of my OCD. I didn't buy the $25 bracket that would go all the way across in one piece because I had 2 pieces left over from a previous project that I can piece together. Hopefully I do not regret that decision. Forewarning has been told. We will see what happens.
When we moved in, there were these little bottles of LA's Totally Awesome everywhere. We must have chunked 10 or 12 bottles of this. And then one day, I was trying to clean something and I thought, oh, there's a bottle, let me try it. This stuff is awesome. I'm not a big chemical user, but the walls in these houses are nasty. So what I do is pour a little bit of the LA's Totally Awesome in a little bucket and dilute it with water, and that's what I clean the walls with. All right? Something.
And here we see the wifely unit in its native habitat cleaning.
Walls. See, what had happened was I asked for new shelves. And the result is I clean a closet. That's okay. I'm getting new shelves.
Here.
You do realize that all this is going to be on like Ford 16. There will be no conversation. Because we're not going to have a 2-hour video.
Maybe we should.
2-hour video? Yay or nay?
Maybe this could be part 1 and part 2.
When we moved in, my mother and I went to town on the walls with Clorox wipes. Basically, I would wipe it one time and the whole wipe would look like my hand because it was so gross. So, what I did here was wipe it with the Awesome, and then afterwards I went over it with the Clorox wipe. No handprint, it's clean. So fresh and so clean, clean. You didn't hurt the floor, did you?
Don't know yet. Wait, no dear, of course I didn't hurt the floor.
Here comes the vacuum cleaner. Here comes the shark, baby shark. Oh, I probably shouldn't sing that.
Oh dear God, please don't.
Bless you!
So you will need those.
Really?
You can try to use other things, but no, just go out, buy something that has the square bits. You're going to use it on just about everything. I don't know why the mobile home industry launched into using these things.
Did you just use finger quotes?
I may have.
That was a Shark Duo clean and we love it.
That was your vacuum sucking up nails and brads and wood and... Oops.
And by functional, he means he doesn't want to hear me on the other side of the wall going, freaking closet.
Don't watch that video.
What were you doing behind me?
Nothing.